Well,
where you
can you say the question for our viewers, just like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
general?
Okay, so the trolley problem is essentially this. So you're on a train, right? And you're going down this track, and then there's a split in the track, and it gets to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, we're either gonna go straight or we're gonna take this right here. But the conductor of the train has been knocked unconscious. Like, you now are in control of this train, and you have to decide if you're gonna go straight or turn right. Here's the catch. On the straight path, there's 5 people. You don't know any of them. You don't know anything about these people that are strapped down to the train tracks. They can't get up. So there's 5 people on the straightaway one. And then on the right track, there's 1 person. Again, you don't know anything about them. In your mind, they're morally neutral. You know nothing about them. And they're also tied down to the track on the right side. So the question is, do you let fate take the wheel and just let it keep going straight and say, hey, like, my hands are clean? Or do you pull it to the right and do the more utilitarian viewpoint, which is save the most people possible and kill only 1 person? So which one do you choose? Because, and the moral quandary really lies here. Do you be passive and let whatever happens, or do you make a conscious choice to pretty much actively kill somebody who wasn't going to die otherwise?
Kill 1 versus 5, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, 1 versus 5.
Yeah, I just believe that if you're in that circumstance, it's impossible to be passive. Even if you choose not to act, and non-action is an action.
I agree.
I hate utilitarianism also, though. I think utilitarianism is garbage. I could write a 30-minute video explaining. I mean, utilitarianism at its core is based on measuring happiness, something that fundamentally can't be measured. It's based on a math problem that's impossible. That's what utilitarianism is based on. It's always rough estimates and is always subject to manipulation. I think in this scenario, you know, it's not that rough. It's 5 human lives to 1 human life.
Yeah, like, it's more obvious, yeah.
I think in a utilitarian circumstance, though, like if the 5 vote to kill the 1, then this is not really the trolley problem. Then the 5 people still aren't right. Like, right. You know, it doesn't make them right, even if it makes them happier. It's tough. I would say in this specific circumstance, I don't believe that I would be passive to let it kill the 5, but I don't believe in utilitarianism. I think it's a fundamentally fucked moral philosophy, and it's not the most basic, but I have a bone with it. I wrote a few papers in college about my griefs with it. I think I would probably pull the lever. I didn't know anything about any of them. It's nothing personal. But I think just even though life would have naturally carried on and killed 5, I'll take the burden. I'll take the moral guilt. I don't know. I think I'd kill the 1.
Okay, now you may have heard this before, but let me go ahead and pose a second question to you. So now, same
also
situation.
At this point in time, I just want to say both me, Tyler, and Hiding have chosen the same answer.
We've all chosen.
We all also kind of agree that, like, by being passive, you're choosing not. You're still making an action.
By the way, I also am interested. This might have to be like a separate stream because first of all, we don't have the time, but like, secondly, I think it's like a really, like I said, it's a complicated idea. But like, I would be interested to talk to you about utilitarianism in general in a different time. But just letting you know, I just want to remember that because
I talk
like
about philosophy all the time on my streams.
Yeah, so do I. I literally title my streams philosophy streams sometimes, and like just sit there and talk about shit.
Okay, I'm not going to derail this. This is just a brief thing, but it's actually I've gotten so it's become so boring for me to cover what objectivity and subjectivity are since nobody uses the words correctly that I literally scripted and posted on my second channel a 30-minute lecture on the definition of the words for objectivity and subjectivity, just so I have something to direct people toward whenever they misuse the words.
This guy's a bigger philosophy nerd than me by a long margin, I just found out. But okay, really quickly, so secondary question, right? So this question I think makes it a little bit more difficult, and it's obviously different in its implications and everything. So here's the second question. Same situation. It's either going to go right or but this time there's only 1 track. I'm sorry. So there's only 1 track. It can only go straight. There's 5 people tied down to this rail, but you're in a situation to where you're overlooking over a bridge that's, let's just say, like half a mile before the people get hit. And Hiding, you know how these work, like these moral quandaries. Like, obviously you could pick this apart and like say, well, I would just do this or do this other thing, but in this situation you can't do any of these things. You really only have 2 options, right? It's a binary situation. So here are your 2 options. One, you can throw this person, this larger gentleman, off of the bridge that you're standing on. Yeah, the fat man problem. So you can throw this larger gentleman off of the bridge and stop the train. The train will stop. You know it'll stop. Let's just say you have some sort of physics degree. You know it'll stop. Or you can just let it hit, because at this point you're making the same kind of decision, but you're definitely more involved. Which one do you choose?
Who's it gonna hit? Just 5 people again?
Yeah, so it's gonna hit the 5 people if you do nothing, and then you can throw the man off the bridge to stop the train entirely.
Yeah, I mean, on paper these are pretty much the same.
Yeah. But one's a lever and one's an actual human that you're physically touching.
Yeah. Instead of people, well, I think the major difference is, in the first scenario, there were 6 people who were already in a certain situation, and you are choosing which of those people, which group of those people is to receive the punishment. In this case, you have one group of people who are going to be punished, but you can actively put a different group into the way of harm.
Yeah, the fat dude was never in harm, other than diabetes and heart disease.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, but like, so that's true, but also there's another way to look at it, and this is just me playing devil's advocate. I actually agree with what you just said, but like, the person on the right track, the one person, he was possibly in danger, but not actively in danger. You know what I mean? Like, if you're talking about like kinetic and potential energy, he had nothing but potential energy. There was no kinetic energy there was nothing that was actually going to kill him until you pulled that lever. So technically he wasn't involved either, right? Like, he was just chilling.
It's actually wild, because I think in this situation I would struggle. I would very much. I think it'd be a lot easier for me to pull the lever than push the fat dude.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like, and I think it is because of the personal aspect of it, right? Like, now you're going from doing something that feels so like, what would you say, like calculated and like so disconnected of pulling a lever, versus you're doing something where it's like the same thing, you know, like, have you ever heard of keyboard warriors? That's a thing because it's so much easier to talk shit when the person's not in your face. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much easier to be rude and be horrible and be a bad person whenever you don't have to have the consequences of saying it to somebody's face and seeing that you're hurting their feelings. It's the same deal. Just on a different scale.
I think I have a different reasoning, but I think I know why. I mean, I've thought about this before, but I'm working through my head again, because it is definitely a hard thing to do. I think that individual agency and the right to make your own decisions, and for other people to have a right over their own autonomy, is more important than individual lives. I think that the right of someone to be free and be who they are and act how they will and wish and are, I think that's more important than like individual human lives. I think in this case, you are stripping the fat man of his right to his own life and his own personal autonomy when you throw him into the tracks, while none of the people in the first equation had autonomy. And so because of that, I would not throw the fat man. I would let the train keep going. Because I don't know what led those people to be on the tracks. I don't know any of the context for it.
But you definitely know this fat guy was not involved at all. You know, he's just sitting there.
Yeah.
What if the fat man was the mastermind the entire time? Like, he's just sitting there watching his handiwork.
Well, if I knew that, then
no.
maybe I'd throw him over.
No, I think that I would also, and I think Briggs is the same way, like, where he probably would make that same decision. But I think that mine was just so much more base of a reason. Like, my reason was exactly what I said. It's just so much more impersonal whenever you pull the lever. Like, it's so much more personal whenever you're actively like ending somebody. And you're right, like, taking autonomy is like a big thing. Like, it's one of the things that gives human life value at all, is autonomy, you know, and agency.
All right, I have a funny scenario for you guys.
All right.
Hiding. You're in the train, right? You have control of the lever. I am on the left, strapped down. I am on the left, strapped down. It's currently going towards 5 people. What do you do?
Okay, this is so funny because normally in these situations, like in a philosophy class or whatever, they'd say like your grandma. Or
yes, they would say like your mom or your brother.
Just to be clear, you're on the right track where there's only one. You're the one person.
I'm the one person, and then
that makes it even easier. Are you kidding me? Those 5 people are dying. I don't know, like, you know, like, I don't know what to tell you.
5 total strangers, 5 human lives on the straight and narrow, and then turn it and only Briggs.
Yep.
Okay, question is, do I have a walkie-talkie with Briggs? Can I ask him, can I talk to him?
No. And also, another question, Briggs, am I in your will?
I was gonna say before I make the decision, can I ask Briggs if I'm gonna be on Rant Cafe or the anime version?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Well, I would
That's
hope you would assume that you are gonna be back on eventually.
You go, Briggs! He's like, what? Am I gonna be on Red Cafe?
That is like, do I get any benefit out of it? Well, you're on the Chadcast right now. Okay. Five or one being me.
Bro, it is so funny because I'm like very like the reason why I said I want to talk to Hiding about utilitarianism is because I feel like a lot of times my viewpoints happen to just line up with utilitarianism, and then something like this will be brought up. I'm like, never mind.
You know, in this case, I don't have like a super deep, I guess, like moral philosophy for why I don't necessarily think this is even the right decision necessarily. But yeah, I would let the 5 people die just because I think the principle of supporting and assisting and helping people who are kind to you is a good moral philosophy to have.
Right.
It's a good way to live your life. If people are good to you, the people you're associated with, the people who don't make your life worse, it's good to assist those people. Kind of creates a network.
That was wholesome.
Okay,
I
don't
appreciate
keep,
you
I
not
don't-
killing me, and also it was the wrong answer. A train can't kill me. Okay.
Actually, that makes it the right answer even more. That means
Yeah.
nobody dies.
Okay, so I have one more thing to add to that question. This is I think this will be the end because we're really beating the shit out of the fucking trolley problem right now. But here's my one more thing. So it's going to go towards the 5 people. Briggs is on the right track, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if now you're in a situation where somebody on the train also has somebody they know, but they're in the group of 5, and so you have to literally fight them from getting to the thing? Are you gonna fight them to stop them from pulling that lever, or are you just gonna be like, fuck, like, you know, at this point he wants it just as bad as me? What are you doing? Bro, I'm straight
there's
beating
somebody
the
else to
brakes off
witness it.
somebody.
If there's somebody else to witness it, then most likely they can lay claim to, like some sort of criminal accusation that I let 5 people die because of my selfishness.
Ooh, true. That's a good
And so
point.
I could also not only kill 5 people, but then also have to face criminal consequences.
Right. Well, no, because you're not at that point. You're not killing anybody. You're just letting the train go straight. You know, you're just not doing anything, which is
Yeah,
not a crime.
But I mean, if you're fighting over having it not turn or having it turn.
So at
you
that
know,
point, what you're doing is you're stopping it from killing your friend. You're not making it kill anybody. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you're doing. You're
I
stopping it
just
from
don't believe in
killing
the
Briggs.
passivity. I don't believe in the
Right.
passivity of it. I'm actively making a choice and putting an effort to prevent the other choice from happening.
I think
No.
he's saying in regards to like the law.
Yeah,
you
he's
being
thinking
like
in the legal-
you stopping someone from pulling a lever. I don't know.
I mean, they could definitely argue that out in
Yeah,
court. I'm
for
just
sure.
not sure how most people would see.
Okay, but what about?
But I
just
think
from an ethical
I think it
perspective?
definitely could go either way as well, though. Like even just pulling the lever in general, like at the end of the day, you're still technically active in killing
Yeah.
someone.
Right.
So I think either side could be argued in court. But I guess, yeah, save like 1 versus 5. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how the law works.
I don't know.
What-
I guess I
what-
could have like the most depressing game of rock paper scissors of my life.
Wow. Imagine.
Briggs, pick a
most
number between 1 and 10.
I'm thinking
I-
of a number between 1 and 10. If you get 2 higher or 2 lower, you can pull the lever. If not, it's a mine.
Bro, Briggs. Okay, so Briggs, same situation, but I'm on the tracks. What are you doing? Are you fighting to the death?
Hundo P.
Bro, I'm fighting to the death. I don't. It could be Hiding. It could be Briggs. It could be anybody that I know is on that train track that I like actually like and don't like actively dislike. Bro, I'm fighting to the death before I let somebody pull that lever or like let it go straight rather.
I don't know about fighting to the death. If someone pulls a gun on me, I'm gonna be like, okay, do what you gotta do. But like, if we were both just civilians, obviously I'm gonna
See,
fight it
this is-
out.
This is where me and Hiding being from Texas comes into play. I'm not afraid of guns.
Yeah.
I'm going after it, bro. I'm not letting you die.
I only lived in Texas for the year.
That's fine. You only needed 1 year. Okay. Well, I think that's a pretty good place to end it, actually, because I enjoy the trolley problem in general. Do you think it's a good place, Briggs, or do you want to ask?
I
more
agree. I
questions?
think that was a good podcast. Hiding, thank you for joining us. Everyone watching, wherever you are watching, definitely check out Hiding in Public on both Twitch, YouTube, and everywhere else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks
Cool.
for having me again. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, and
Thank you for
like I
coming on.
said, bro, we might have to get a hiding part too because I feel like we barely scratched the surface on everything that we could have talked about. So yeah, like Briggs said, definitely follow him, follow us, hang out with us. Next time we see you, we'll be live next week again at 1 p.m. CST. Goodbye.
Bye. Yo, what up, boys? Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, definitely subscribe for more new videos every time I upload them. Maybe daily, sometimes not.